Right, Bo. We need to talk about Shabana Mahmood. She's English,
Oh,
apparently.
oh,
Yeah. Oh, and a patriot.
oh. How about that?
Oh dear, oh dear.
How about
Yeah.
them
So
apples? Who would have thought?
yeah, yeah. So this segment today, ladies and gents watching, this obviously crosses over with the Labour Party conference. Not a lot actually happened at Labour Party conference. There's some bits and pieces here and there which we'll sort of chit chat about. But this was kind of the main one actually, because there's a few things in here. One, the tweet itself. The challenge we face today is to fight for our belief in a greater Britain, not a littler England. I think I replied to this. Yeah, I did. I said, you're not English. You're a Pakistani. Looking down your nose and sneering at little England will not get you anywhere. We, the English, love our quaint little England because we do. Little England is beautiful. We love our little England, actually. Thank you. But this is part of a larger thing, and good Lord, it sent everyone into a tailspin. So it's worth covering. So I'll just play a little bit of this, and then I'll get you riled up, Bo, and we'll get your thoughts on this absolute pile of crap.
I am a patriot, proudly so. Mine is the patriotism of Orwell, pride in a country that is forever changing, while also ineffably always the same. Patriotism, a force for good, is turning into something smaller, something more like ethno-nationalism, which struggles to accept that someone who looks like me and has a faith like mine can truly be English or British. Because the truth is, across this country, people feel like things are spinning out of control. And without control, we simply do not have the conditions in which our country can be open, tolerant, and generous. So the challenge we now face is this: not just to win the next election, but to keep the country together and to fight for our belief in a greater Britain, not a littler England.
It annoys the. Oh, God. Oh, I'm so angry watching that.
First of all, is that her hair or like a black crash helmet? Secondly, yeah, we love Little England. That's not a pejorative. Little England, that's fine. I'm fine with a Little England. No, that's fine. That's fine. And the meme of someone from India saying, "Let me tell you, white English people, about your history and your heritage and what it means to be English. Let me tell you about that." Oh, there you go. Classic.
Someone tweeted out. They put the hair on it.
Spoiler alert, you're not English. You cannot be. There is an ethnic and racial element to being European, Northwest European, British, English. There is an ethnic and racial element to that. What's so hard to accept? That's not a crazy thing to say. That's not a racist, bigoted thing to say. It's a fact. And she is not in that club. She is not of that tribe. Sorry. You're not. You've got no ancestors from here. Your ancestral homeland are not these islands. Don't try and tell me they are, because they're not. Okay, you might be a second generation guest, the child of expats from the subcontinent. You're not English, love. You cannot be. You want to tell me about what the nature of England or Britain is? No. Yeah, you want to sneer, look down your nose at a little England? Yeah, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. It's not for her to define what England or Britain is or isn't. Her parents came from. Is she Pakistani? She's actually Pakistani, right?
She's Pakistan. So her parents are both Pakistani.
Her parents came
and
from
then
Pakistan.
when she was born, they then left the country as well, and only came back when she was 7.
Huh.
Yeah. Ha. Funny that, isn't it?
Oh, but she was born in an English hospital. So what? So what? Yeah, you can be a guest here, but you're not English. You're not of these islands and cannot ever be. Right? And she talks about ethno-nationalism. All right, let's talk about ethno-nationalism. Let's do that. It's time, isn't it? Let's have a frank and open conversation. There's nothing wrong with it. It's normal. It's the norm for nearly every country in the world for all of history. You have a race and an ethnos and a place on the globe that is yours, that belongs to your people, your tribe, whatever you want to call it, your in-group. Right? And so everywhere else in the country is allowed to have an ethno-nationalism. Israel is expressly ethno-nationalist in nature. Loads of countries are. Most countries. It's only apparently European or countries from the West, America and Australia and Canada included, that apparently now suddenly in the last few decades are just not allowed. You're just not allowed to have it. It flies in the face of reality. It flies in the face of reason, what's reasonable. That you can't have an ethnic homeland. No, nonsense. We do. We have. That's a thing. Okay, you can be a guest, but so both simultaneously, they play this game, don't they? Both simultaneously, they are English, right? Someone like Yasmin Anabali Brown or that Mahmood bird or whoever, right? They say they are English, but also in the same breath, quite often, some of them will say there's no such thing as well, or they used to say that until that argument was basically defeated, that there's no such thing. It's like, make your mind up. Obviously, you're just trying to destroy us. Obviously, that's all this is. And no, I'll say I'm an ethnat. That's fine. I don't think there isn't anything wrong with that. With having an in-group preference, with acknowledging that there's a racial and ethnic element to our national identity. Right? If they can't handle that, that's on them. That's a them problem. Because it's a fact.
Yeah, I mean, look, the whole speech is laughable from many angles. Trying to say that you're a patriot, you're not a patriot. Shut up. Like you're just not a patriot.
The fifth columnist, cuckoo in the nest.
Yeah, to say that
of a patriot. Sorry, you go.
Yeah, no. Patriotism, one of Orwell, blah 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 blah, whatever. Absolute nonsense. And saying that there's patriotism now turning into something smaller, something like ethno-nationalism, and then going on to say that to deny that someone like her can be English, she is English. You're not English. You're not English. Like it's been known for time immemorial that the English were a people, right up until probably the last 20 years or so, and then that started to be dismantled systematically for reasons, because they know that if you're going to push this sort of you're going to push in-group preferences, in-group preference politics, then you must dismantle it for the host population, because otherwise they will go, oh, well, actually, yeah, no, we're a people as well. We don't really want to be a minority on our own land, actually. Thanks very much. And the thing is, what's funny about this is if you're looking at, say, I'm an ethno. Happy to say it. Literally no issue with it at all. Even those that are civic nationalists, and this is, I think, a really worthwhile conversation to have, because people recoil at the term ethno-nationalist. To them it harkens to Nazis and goose stepping and all this kind of stuff. Sure, whatever. That's an extremist approach you want to take to it. It's just nonsense. Civic nationalists will always fall to becoming an ethnat anyway, because if I then turn around to you and say, okay, well, you're a civic nationalist, so everyone just has to subscribe to these subset of belief systems that this country has for whatever reason, and that's okay, is it then? And a civnat will be like, yep, absolutely fine, no issue, that's fine, that's absolutely fine. Okay, well, sure, we're still going to be a minority in this country by 2060. There you go. Is that okay? Oh, then you'll start to go, oh no, I don't really like that actually. And civic nationalism also is, civic nationalists will always fall to becoming an ethnat when you start to pick apart the arguments for why we even have the ability to allow people here, why you even have those beliefs to begin with. Like I've said a few times on this channel, and also on the Lotus Eaters, like when you deal with women and things like that in politics, and left-wing women, they hold these beliefs as a luxury. It's a luxury belief to have. To be a civnat is a luxury belief afforded to you by powerful men that came before you that were ethno-nationalists. We have had a strong homogenous society for X, Y, and Z amount of, well, like a millennia. Like Britain especially, England especially, has been an incredibly old and long homogenous country. And so to hold those sort of civnat beliefs is a luxury belief, because when you start to look at it and you say, well, you know, you have these opinions of how a culture should be, which again is because we are an ethnicity, a people. We have that culture, a unified culture. Not that everyone subscribes to the same beliefs, but founding principles, blah, blah, blah. If you flood the country with random foreigners and they just somehow believe, you believe that they will hold these beliefs, it's still not going to be the same place. And those belief structures that you believe that they're going to, I don't know, subscribe to will be eroded over a period of time. And it will inevitably become something else. So civnats tend to always fall to the ethnat position. Well, one, because you don't want to be a minority in your homeland, do you? And two, because democracy, when you flood the country with random foreigners, democracy allows that infiltration element, the erosion of your culture as a wholesale. And I'll say this lastly as well, because I think this is a really important point to make as a whole, is we built a society, a world-spanning empire and society and culture, not the world-spanning culture, but we built a great empire and a great culture because we were homogenous and this was our homeland. And so when we looked to build things, we didn't think, and this is what modern politics is suffering from now, we didn't think in the here and now. We didn't think in the next 5 years. We thought generationally. We thought, what are we going to build for our generations to come? Our who were our offspring and their offspring and their offspring, our lineage, right? We were giving our ancestors were bequeathing this country to us, and that's why it's so good. Right? That's why we have such beautiful things that took hundreds of years to build. Right? Like some of our architecture took decades upon decades to build. The people that set it in place, in motion to be built, were long dead before they were finished. But they did it because it's a gift, because they knew that their son and their son's son would witness it. And that's important. When you fall to multiculturalism, you lose that. It's living in the here and now. Anyway, that was a long...
Yeah, no, you're right. Like civic nationalism is fundamentally flawed. I mean, reform itself is a very good example of that, because it immediately lets someone like Zia Yusuf right to the heart of it, who will just immediately pervert it and subvert it. Any movement that you want for the nation, for the people, the native, ethnic, racial people of any given area. Civic nationalism just immediately leaves the door open for the criticism, the deconstruction, the critical theory, critical race theory. Because civic nationalism just isn't strong enough. It's like the final barrier, one of the final taboos is to abandon civic nationalism because it almost by definition leaves the door open to be subverted by the other.
Hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with noticing that and having a problem with that, particularly when you are in the process, or even quite a long way down the road, of being replaced in your own ancestral homeland, being raped and murdered and replaced. So no, civic nationalism isn't good enough. It's not good enough. And that is one of the final hurdles that our movement will have to address and overcome. People have to have the conviction to say, no, we are a people. We are an ethnos. And someone like Shabana Mahmood is not in it. It's not
Obviously.
inclusive. By definition, it's exclusive. Some people can and some people cannot be in it from birth. If that's too much for you, good luck. Go vote Labour. Go vote Reform. Good luck. Good luck.
Well, it has been a bit too much for a lot of people. I want to take this segment off into some sort of comedy element now. So, a friend of the channel, that there, Carl Benjamin, might heard of him, Sargon of Akkad. Shabana Mahmood is literally not English, and you're like, yeah, true statement.
It's just a statement of fact.
True statement. She literally is. Lewis Goodall says. Born in Pakistan, loyal to Pakistan before anything else. Racist bot. Yes, Lewis. Yes, Lewis. Okay.
Racist. The evil racists.
Yeah, and it continues. So Morgoth tweeted this out. It says, of all the crimes the British state has committed against its native population, denying them the right to call themselves what they are is perhaps the most cruel and vindictive. If English is reduced to only a bureaucratic procedure, then the English people become stateless, robbed even of the name historically used to describe them. Well, I mean, England was named after us. It's not the other way around, like we were. So yeah, I think there's an important element to say, isn't it? Really, is that, you know, English are the English not because they come from England. England is England because of the English. It's a super important thing to sort of clarify there. And Lewis says, why does it affect my Englishness if Shabana Mahmood is English too? It renders it just another subjective postmodern husk that does not correspond to a lived reality. I think I replied to this one.
Yeah. So Lewis Goodall said, why can't she be English too? And Morgoth said, because that's not reality.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's just
basically,
that's not real. You're making things up now, Lewis.
Yeah. And he says, semantically eradicates an entire people. It's not about you. No, it doesn't. It means that anyone born in England can be English. What is wrong with that? And I just said, so why did we leave India then, Lewis? Plenty of English people were born in India, mate. We should have stayed there. They're Indians, after all, using your logic.
Yeah. But Rudyard Kipling was an Indian man then. No, racially and ethnically, he was not Indian. He might have been born in India, might even have had a bit of paper saying that he was an Indian citizen. I'm not sure if he was, but whatever. That doesn't make him an Indian. His genes, every chromosome, every cell in his body was not Indian. That was the reality. That is the reality.
And that's okay. That's
right.
It's okay. This is the thing. So, you know, we're not sat here saying only English people can have, you know, should be ethno-nationalists. That's not what we're saying, right? Like I'm pro India ethno-nationalism. Like I'm pro all of that. That's absolutely fine. Sure. They can be nationalists in their own place, right? Like this is the thing. Only we're the ones denied it.
Right.
It's so bizarre.
I don't see much critical race theory deconstructing the racial / national identity of Bangladesh or Nigeria or something. No. Oh, apparently that's just reserved for European countries and like Australia or whatever, a few other places. Yeah, just the white countries, basically. Yeah. You can't have an ancestral homeland that never existed and never can. Oh, right. Okay. You're just enemies. You're just racial enemies of us then. After everything. after everything, you're still hell-bent on annihilating us, basically. Right? This is something Stefan Molyneux said years ago. All this stuff, all this critical theory, critical race theory, it's one of the first steps on a genocidal process.
Hmm.
It is. It's
Well, that takes
very,
it
very
to-
dark.
that takes it to its logical conclusion, isn't it? It's the eradication, because at the end of the day, like, they won't, their outlook won't suddenly change when we become the minority in our own land. They won't go,
no.
oh, you're the
Oh, no.
minority actually, so you need the leg up now. No, obviously not. That's obviously not going to happen. So yeah, I mean, to sit there and be like, yeah, Shabana Mahmood, you're English, well done. Now, obviously, it's just nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. But this cuts right to the heart of the issue. They have realised. I wrote a poem about this. Don't worry, I'm not going to read my poem, even though it's quite good, if I do say so myself. But the poem was titled "The Great Anglo," and it's about the Englishness waking up. Right? We have become very aware. We are. There was a great slumber for our people because we rested on our laurels and we achieved so much, and we just enjoyed the fruits of the labor. We didn't think that this would ever happen. You know, we did everything that we wanted. We were told was prim and proper. We voted. No, we don't want immigration. We'll vote, blah, blah, blah. And now we're at this point, this juncture. And so, yes, now the English are waking up. The Great Anglo has awoken. And you're not going to be able to put this genie back in the bottle. You're not going to be able to put the English back to bed. It's not going to work. And that's what they're trying to do here by disconnecting you from your ethnicity, your people, your ancestral homeland.
And exercising pure evil, as far as I can tell.